It wasn't snowing yet, but the wind cut through my coat as if November knew something I didn't. I had one hand on Ella's shoulder, the other balancing the casserole dish I'd made from scratch the night before. Jake was 2 steps behind us, carrying the pumpkin pie with both hands like a sacred object. We rang the doorbell. No one answered. After a minute, I let myself in through the back door, same as I had since I was old enough to reach the handle. The kitchen smelled like sage turkey skin, and the cinnamon glaze Dad always added to the ham. It should have felt like coming home, but no one looked up. My mother stood at the counter, folding cloth napkins into sharp triangles. Her hair was shorter than I remembered, her smile absent. She glanced at the kids, then turned back to her napkins as if they were the only things she could control. My father was by the living room window, swirling his bourbon like he was waiting for someone more important to arrive. Ryan, my younger brother, was already half a drink in and feet on Dad's recliner, arguing loudly about football with Uncle Dean. Same as always. His wife, Jenna, perched on the armrest beside him, her laugh light and constant like she was crying out for something. I cleared my throat. Happy Thanksgiving. Jake set the pie on the counter with both hands. We brought dessert. No one replied right away. It was Rachel, my sister, 4 years younger and always diplomatic, who finally said, "Hey, Lee. Sorry, we weren't sure if you were still coming." I blinked. "You invited me." Rachel shrugged, smile brittle. "Well, Ryan said maybe you'd changed plans. It's been busy." Ella tugged gently at my sleeve. "Where do we sit, Mommy?" I looked toward the dining room. 12 chairs, napkins folded, name cards handwritten in Jenna's loopy script. 12 plates, one long table. I counted again. No kids' table, no high chairs, no folding chairs pulled from the garage like every other year. Just 12. Rachel followed my gaze and cleared her throat. "We figured the kids could eat in the den. There's pizza and a movie. It'll be more fun for them." Jake didn't say anything, but he'd already seen enough. No one asked how we were doing. No one asked how the new apartment was coming along, or if I needed help with Ella's school stuff. I wasn't expecting much, but I had expected something. I looked around that room, my childhood home, my parents, my siblings, and for the first time, it hit me. I had arrived as a guest when they weren't sure they'd invited. Ella's hand stayed in mine. I didn't squeeze back. Not yet. I helped the kids settle in the den. Pizza, paper plates, one fuzzy blanket for 2 little laps. The fun table, they called it. But no one asked if they wanted to sit there. I stayed a moment longer, smoothing Ella's hair, adjusting Jake's collar. His eyes didn't leave mine. "When are we going home?" he asked, barely above a whisper. "Soon," I said. "Not just yet." Back in the kitchen, the bourbon had flowed a little more freely. My father laughed at something Ryan said. Mom was already opening another bottle of red, not looking my way. I set the casserole down beside a tray of deviled eggs, untouched. "I think we're going to head out after dessert," I said into the space between sentences. No one looked up. Then Ryan raised his glass. "Busy mom things, right? Always in a rush." Jenna giggled. "We get it. Single parent life." She said it like she'd never once needed help from anyone. She said it like I wasn't standing 3 feet away. I straightened my spine. My voice didn't shake, but it landed quiet. "Actually, I need to share something." That got their attention. Jenna's smile froze. Rachel set her wine down. "I'm pulling back," I said. "From everything, the tuition, the electric bill for Mom's place, the extras." My father's face changed first, just a flicker, but it was there. That slight confusion, like someone had moved his things without asking. "I thought you wanted to," Rachel said softly. "I did," I nodded. "And I still care, but I can't carry everything anymore." Ryan snorted. "Since when is splitting a water bill considered carrying anything?" I looked at him. He hadn't paid his student loans in 10 years. My parents still covered his car insurance. But I didn't say it. "I'm doing what's best for me and the kids," I said instead. "That's all." No one thanked me for what I had done. No one asked why now. My mother finally spoke. We never asked you to. The silence after that wasn't awkward. It was final. I picked up Ella's sweater from the back of a chair and folded it under my arm. Jake met me at the hallway, pizza crust in hand. Are we leaving? I looked down the hall, past the coats, past the photo frames that hadn't changed in a decade. My face wasn't in any of them. Not yet, I said again, but something had already left. We drove home in near silence. The kids dozed in the back, their heads tilting. Sadly, voice cracking, gasping, it started with a gut feeling. Resigned. It always does, doesn't it? Some imperceptible shift in tone, an unusual softness in her voice when she'd say, mimicking, feigned casualness, "I'll be out for lunch with a friend." The kind of softness you only notice if you've heard the sharp edges before, the ones you thought you had dulled over years of devotion. Nostalgic. Laura and I had been married for 8 years. 8 years of morning coffees, whispered dreams, and the silent understanding that comes from knowing someone so completely. I thought we were solid. Sure, we had our disagreements, but who didn't? Sighs. I choked it up to the natural wear and tear of life. That was before the late-night text I accidentally saw while her phone rested on the couch beside me. Reading, "Can't stop thinking about today." The message was from a number I didn't recognize. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off with a nervous laugh, dismissive. "It's nothing, just a group chat. You know how girls can be." I nodded but didn't press further. That night, lying in bed beside her, staring at the ceiling, somber, I knew something was wrong. Long pause. Something was, voice trembling, very, very wrong. It wasn't until weeks later, when her lunch dates became more frequent and her excuses vaguer, that I decided to act. Ashamed, I'm not proud of it, but I went through her phone when she left it unattended one afternoon. The texts I found weren't suggestive, they were shocked, explicit. Her friend was someone named Eric, and judging by their exchanges, the lunch dates were far more than a quick sandwich and small talk. Inhales sharply, I felt a rush. A rush of nausea and anger, followed by a crushing wave of humiliation. My wife, my Laura, was having bitter an affair, and it wasn't just a fling. These weren't messages of mere physical attraction. They were disgusted, dripping with emotional intimacy. The kind of connection we used to have, the kind I thought was still ours. Heartbroken. For a week, I carried the knowledge in silence, trying to figure out what to do. Muttering, conflicted. Confront her? Pack my bags and leave? Beg her to explain? I did none of those things. Instead, I did something I've never done in my life. Coldly, determined, I plotted, carefully, methodically, I planned. It started with research. Through a few social media rabbit holes, I discovered, scornful, Eric was a colleague of hers, a sales representative for some company she'd collaborated with on a project. He was married too. I found his wife, Christine, on Facebook, a petite brunette with kind eyes and 2 kids under 5. Sympathetic. My heart broke for her, but my sympathy didn't deter me from moving forward. Resolute. The plan came together faster than I expected. First, I hired a private investigator, a grizzled guy named Frank who had a face like a bulldog and a no-nonsense attitude. Frank's photos confirmed everything. Pictures of them leaving a hotel together, arms brushing, faces lit up with laughter. Bitter chuckle. He'd even captured a shot of them kissing in her car. Firmly, proof. Hard, hard, undeniable proof. Next, I reached out to Christine. My message was simple, flat tone, reading. "Hi Christine, this is going to be hard to hear, but I believe your husband Eric is having an affair with my wife Laura. I've attached photos. I'm